Well, since this is about the book, I thought I'd bring a few things to read from a book in the making right now. This book is, what I'm doing with this book is writing a bunch of stuff and letting that stuff tell me what the book is about. And so I'm slowly discovering that it's about skeletons, Moby Dick, evolution, George Herbert's The Temple, the cloisters, and one other thing, Bhagavad Gita. So that's what it's about. So I'm going to read a few things from each of those little sections. And I'm going to start with the holy grail of poetry and books and theology and scripture and everything, which is Moby Dick. The first one is Moby Dick, chapter 75, abridged. Sliding over the great pout into the mouth of the monster diademed king of the sea. Check the crown bone, the slender mandible, those colonnades of bone so methodically ranged about. Good Lord, is this the road that Jonah went? The temple where he conversed with God in the leviathanical tongue? Stand in the jaw of the whale where others before you have stood, and know that the Lord has made no other better temple. The next one is called Water to Water. When Queequeg made a cervix of the Leviathan's great skull and birthed that wild Indian Tashtego, first expertly unbreeching him, then bringing him into the world head first, as the Lord intended, he was pulled from water to water. His lungs and gills made fish, and as our temples, mostly water, flood with God's blood, we have to dig out our foundations and build again. I should have let him take me on the seminar table, whispering in my ear about Masonic imagery in Moby Dick. He would have spent too much time on the handshakes, not enough on the fragrance of popping ambergris. And so I am ready to be spread across the temple's altar, happy for the knife to enact its smile across my throat. When the God of this world's fire has dampened, the shroud of his temple rent open, endoskeleton ground back into tiny pieces, when the smoke of that world's wife saddens and slows, there is still something left. One more party she will pinch the blood back into either cheek for. Watching that small anatomy on the altar, reaching her hand to slit from ear to ear a steady smile across the creature's throat, allowing its cocktail to spill back into the mud, never having realized before how small the animal, how small the man, and how large the many-chambered shell it was dragging. Okay, so the next section is are some poems that I got inspired by reading the Bhagavad Gita, which I've been reading obsessively lately. So I'm not sure how I got from Moby Dick to Bhagavad Gita. Maybe you guys will figure it out and you can tell me later. Okay. 11th teaching. The words tremble, and so do I, before your many mouths and endless teeth, pearls dropping into my flesh, seeding a crop of no beginning, middle, or end. 1,000 suns blooming in the sky at once, O God of gods. 1,000 zeros at once blooming. This one is from teaching number 4. 4. The eternal nature of God. Unborn, undying, I come into being through my own magic. 1,000 hands holding 1,000 tubes of Chanel red number 5 and painting the roses for men to gaze upon. The beautiful lips of God arrayed and speaking at once. The 14th teaching. First, they ate the sourest fruit, then the sweetest, and tried to decide if the suffering their pleasure bore was worth it, and if they should tend the garden, or just sit in it and meditate, letting virulent species vine around their lotus limbs. And should they see the action of the Lord in this dark botany and its attendant destruction? And should they travail through black inertia to find the light of lights beyond darkness, the sun of the bleakest world, the deepest, lushest fruit of passion, and should they welcome its suffering? Okay, I'm going to do one more, and then I think my time is up. Also from the Bhagavad Gita, the laughing teaching, the true spirit. The tree of life is unchanging, they say. Its leaves are hymns. Each leaf is a lung, breathing upside down on its branch, inhaling and exhaling so quietly that only dogs and twigs can hear their sound. The drone humming beneath and around us. We all know that the leaves are singing ha, the universal sound of laughter, the people's #1 favorite word for God.